about the sync. Now it's live stream.
Okay, we're live now.
Yeah. Hey, good morning. This is Art Matters New York. I'm Hans Vici. I'm with my colleague Mark Safan.
Good morning. Hi.
And hi to everyone else. It's Mary is here and Phyllis, our members of our art group and discussion group. And first of all, happy birthday to Phyllis.
Thank you so much.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday.
Today we are a small group. Usually we have more members around, but we're going to see a piece of Mary, and we look at it and discuss it. We are excited about it, Mary.
Thanks, Hans.
Can we pick up on the conversation that we were just having?
No.
Yes, about Instagram. Or what?
No.
Okay. Before we went on, okay. I was just curious about the band that you were talking about.
Yeah, let's talk shortly about it.
Just briefly,
on my Instagram account, I posted from my music diary short clips. It's about sound, what sound makes, I started actually with a clip with the inauguration of Obama, Obama's inauguration. And this was so riveting to me when I saw that or heard that on TV. They saluted him in a hall where people were sitting. And so the speaker says, now I salute Mr. New President Obama. And then you hear a screeching sound, which is, it sounds horrible. And I thought, what is this? And then Obama says, oh, please sit down. Thank you, please sit down. And then, that's the clip. And, it was actually the sound of people getting up from a chair. And so when the chair has no some fabric underneath on a surface, it makes a horrible sound. And that sound I posted. Mm-hmm. And then I posted another sound and so on. The second sound was actually a faucet, which makes a tone. It was in Chateau Marmont 2004 in the room for 42. It's a short clip, 16 seconds. And for some reason, there was suddenly, I saw suddenly on my message, you have 2K. I thought, 2K, what is 2K? Usually, I have maybe 17 or 50 likes when I post something, a piece of art, but suddenly yes, you have 2K, And I thought, what is this? And then a couple of hours later, said, you have now 5K, So I went to and I thought, 5K, let's see, what is this? And then, and then I went to the dashboard, the professional dashboard.
Right.
And then you see there the statistics, and I thought, oh my God, 6,000 people were looking at that thing already, and then it went up and up and up, and comments went in. It was very, very interesting. And now it's I reached about 130,000 accounts, and I have at least 12,000 on that clip, 12,000 likes. And that's also very interesting. If you have, when you see somebody has, let's say, 100 likes, you can actually multiply it by 10. Then you know how many accounts. It's quite accurate in a way. You can, it's like a approximation. Yeah. When you see that somebody has 2,000 likes, you can say they have 20,000 accounts reached, for instance. Yeah. Because you don't see the statistics of other people. You see only the likes and you see the comments. So the comments came in, it was very, very interesting. And there was, it's a young audience between 18 and 24 years old. And so one guy wrote already like, is this death grip? And I thought, what is that? Is that a, you know, like a slang thing, you know, like.
Right.
And then I went I had to Google that script and said, oh, this is a music band, you know.
Yeah.
And very interesting, and it was an experimental group and so on, and they it sounds very, very interesting actually.
Wow.
And so I read that they have a huge Wikipedia thing, you know, which you can read about their history. They dissolved actually, you know, and so on. And the point was actually, they were also at Chateau Marmont at one time, and they photographed, you know, the drummers, Zach Hill, or what's his name. They on his penis, they wrote the title of the album and made a photograph, and that was the cover of the album. You know,
it's called, I see it. It's called No Love.
Exactly.
I see it here. I'm on Spotify.
Yeah, exactly. You know, and that was very controversial. I think they lost also the contract with their yeah, right. You see that? It's funny. Yeah, I don't have it handy, but I have a photograph which I can show you next time, maybe. But you know, it's like, so it was very controversial, you know. And it was at Chateau Marmont, at this hotel, which
in LA? In Los Angeles?
Hollywood, you know, that's the famous Chateau Marmont.
Yeah, on the Sunset
where
Boulevard,
Newton, you know, the photographer was living. Helmut Newton, you know Helmut Newton?
Yeah, yeah.
Very, very great photographer, you know. It's
yeah, wonderful.
Yeah. And, I think he didn't get the curve and went into a wall and died. You know, when you came out of the garage or whatever. Yes, but that's so that, you know, it's interesting, this thing. So what I did then also after this death script thing, which is still going on, I put another movie there, a little clip, which is on a Bronx bus, you know, and the sound, the vibration of a seat. It must have, you know, like this. You have all these sounds and this, you know what I'm saying? And it is, I think that it's only 7 seconds or whatever, but it got now also already 68,000 accounts.
Let me ask you something. Let me ask you something, Hans. Is that spilling over at least a little to your art? Are people looking on your Instagram account and looking at your?
Not that I see anything really. Maybe some do, but you know, it's you know, I think how it's measured also is, you know, once you are maybe just stopping a second or 2 seconds, it's maybe counted, you know. Usually you go through the phone like this, you know, and then you stop somewhere.
Yeah.
And then it starts to count, you know, because in the statistics you see exactly how many hours the movie was played. In my case, it's maybe about 400 hours, but the average time is 10 seconds.
Yeah.
Means people are so fast, maybe only 1 second or 2 seconds. And
right. That's right.
It counts, you know.
Yes.
And it's depending, is it a new account or is it, you know, and so on. It's an amazing thing. I don't know how the algorithm exactly works. And you know, I usually make not even tags. You know, there is no tag there. It's only the title and, you know, and, you know, for some reason it spread. It was.
Can you play it now?
I could, let me see. I could.
You could go to Instagram and share. You could go to Instagram and share the screen.
No, yeah, I can look at this. I can just, I show it maybe here on the.
Hans, I could go to Instagram. Why don't I go to Instagram and I can share the screen?
Yeah, can you?
Let me try that.
Yeah, let's try that. Yeah, maybe that's a good idea, Mark.
I'd love to hear it. Wow.
And the comments were very interesting because some people said, oh, somebody wrote, I miss that in the that's what I miss in the internet. You know, suddenly this sound, it's like, you know, yeah, it's interesting what people, of course, some people, oh, it's so boring, or even, you know, like hidden comments, which I usually unhide as but a little bit, you know, bad language stuff, you know,
Hans,
like this,
what is your,
what it is that or whatever, you know. It's funny.
one second.
So, you know, I don't know if you know this term. It's a German word, Sommerloch. That means it's like a summer slurp, or you know, something. You know, in summer you have no news, everybody is away. So there is a you know, something which it's the summer and nothing is happening. And usually you get a little, a small depression, maybe sometime, you know, something is. And so this was perfect. Suddenly, that is 2K, 5K, and then, you know, it was like completely unexpected, you know.
Okay.
And it's not my followers don't appear because there are so many that in the circle, you know, how many people that it's like you can't graphically you can't you see it anymore, you know, the real followers.
It's amazing.
Yeah,
Can
let's
everyone
go
see
first
that?
to the, yeah, let's go first to Obama. Yeah, and then did you share the sound? You have to in your you have to do, if you don't share the sound, we can't hear it.
How do I do that?
Also in the when you go to share screen, in the advanced option, there is on the lower left is a
oh, okay, got it. I see it. I see it.
Sound.
Okay.
Otherwise you don't hear it. Yeah,
Okay.
let's hear first Obama.
Oh.
And the Obama is not the movie, it's just the MP3 file, you know, and it didn't get that much because probably it's not moving. I think, you know, people stop when it's moving. They don't want to really look at something which doesn't move and start here. But still, I think it's interesting.
Hans, I can't do this right now.
Really?
The reason why is because
I'm the host, though. How do you, Hans?
Let me finish. 1 second, Marie. I can't share because I'm on Maureen's computer, and to share audio, it wants to know what her Zoom password is. I don't know. I don't know. But you could do it. You could do it.
Okay, Hans, you do it. Because I tried to get into the advanced.
Yeah, hold on a second.
Let me stop my share.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can't do it here right now.
Okay. Let me see. I can do it. I'm sure.
Okay.
But
sorry, Mark, I was just trying to get to the advanced.
Don't worry. Don't worry.
We find out. Hold on. I'm sure
This is interesting, by the way.
Fascinating.
Yeah, it's really also a new experience for me, you know, because
all of us.
It's you can't plan it, you know. It's not.
No, exactly.
I see accounts which people they put so many tags in there that you know that it should work, or you know what I'm saying, and it doesn't, you know it. So let me see if I can do that here. Yeah. What is that? Yeah.
What is that?
Okay, I go first to, let me see, I can share now the screen.
Let me know.
Yeah. I do now advanced, as I said, share the sound, and let's see if it works. Do you see something?
Yes.
Okay, so you see that's my account. So I had a lot of, you know, like regular, some art and blah, blah, blah. A lot of cats here and when I was in Switzerland. So here is the Obama piece. Let's see if it's
Oh my God.
This is
Please, everybody be seated.
We salute you, Mr. President.
It's great because it sounds like trombones or trumpets, in a, it's very, yeah.
I think it sounds like elephants.
Yeah,
Wow.
right. Now here is the movie of that thing. Let me see. I have to.
Excuse me.
Then the next one was the bus. Let's see. No, I had this one. This is also not a movie, but it's also very interesting. Listen to it. Hold on. This was in Gutman. And that's was, you see, it is a locomotive drivers commemorate dead colleague with locomotive whistles. You see, 2013. I thought that was also nice, but it's not a movie, but just sound.
Wow.
And then I did this that's the window blinds. Let's see how. You hear that? And then you see, it's a you make music, you sample things, you don't.
Yeah, yeah.
Like that. And then I did that. That's now the. So these are actually these movies, So what I'm gonna do is then I put maybe next week another one in there or whatever.
Wow. Where do you get these from?
Yeah, when I'm around and I think it's something interesting, I make my own movie about Mr. Phone or whatever.
And he's on a bus. It's
just listening to things, and
That's
I mean,
fabulous.
other people maybe they make recordings of crickets. I mean, I did too, but I think everyone does that. You know what I'm saying? Because
Wait, you recorded that Obama thing?
Sorry?
You recorded Obama?
Yes, but
That was your
yeah.
recording.
I mean, yes. I was watching TV, and then I had to, and then I didn't have the camera. I didn't know, what happened, and so I had then later on to find somehow in the internet like the sound, and
That's fascinating.
that's
Wow.
yeah. So that's the thing.
You're a sound sleuth.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
I
think
like that sound sleep.
But it's interesting that with my painting, I have no success at all in the internet. It's incredible. Nobody's interested in that. But this,
It's interesting that the things that catch on are things that are, 5 seconds, 8 seconds, 10 seconds long, because that has, kind of a kind of a consistency or a resonance with the nature of social media and attention spans.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yes,
So
absolutely. And especially certain vibrations are probably very interesting, because immediately, it's like, somebody wrote something, oh, this had pilots to hear in the World War II, in their Spitfires, they were, the bass vibration, and it's interesting,
very strange.
Very
like what people respond to, what catches their attention,
absolutely.
and then how it moves. It's like moving just in the internet,
Yes.
in this neural virtual field.
Right.
Strange.
That's interesting.
Very. So you never know what's going to happen. You never know, I mean, this could put you on the map, sort of, or, as a node, it's lighting up, so you're in there, and it may, you don't know, people might, look at your art or look at your painting and go, who knows? You might be, you just don't know.
Yeah, it's
what's
amazing,
going to happen.
how, but it's also very interesting psychologically. Let's say when I had 50,000, Bruno, my friend, Bruno said, oh, let's see, when you get 100,000, I invite you for dinner. And then after 2 days, I was at 100,000. And now listen, probably you don't get 120. I invite you when you have 120. That's oh my God, that's the game here. It's funny. So, it's very interesting.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Really strange.
That's fascinating. I wonder if there's a way to combine, as Mark was saying, I wonder if there's a way to combine, what you're finding out with these sound bits with your art. Maybe that's interesting. If you could include sound.
Why don't you try posting a sound with a graphic of one of your works and see if there's any.
Yeah.
Could be.
I don't know.
But the thing is, I see sometimes posts which people underlay music, famous music actually.
Yeah.
And it says on top what's playing,
Yes.
While they while maybe even post a movie or whatever.
Absolutely.
And I don't know. It could work. Maybe.
Maybe
I don't know.
That's not as interesting as your.
Right. Yeah.
Your unique ability to catch sound, as Phyllis says, be a sound sleuth.
Right.
And put that in with your art. It's fascinating.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, and it's very fascinating for me, because I think, there are even some people, about 3 people, which said, oh, too bad, I was just 2 days after that 2004 born, so I couldn't experience that sound or whatever. So people relate, these young people relate that they were not born yet, or just 1 week old, or
oh no,
it's very interesting. I never thought of that.
There are tragedies and there are tragedies.
Yeah, it's amazing. It's so interesting.
Wow, interesting. Very.
Yeah, thanks for sharing that.
Maybe, I will post you.
Yeah, there's something there, though. There's something there.
Maybe it's a peek into the millennium mind.
It's a peek into the mind of people that are trawling, the social media and Instagram, and what's coming to their attention. Like right now on Instagram, it's really actually very, very interesting. Instagram used to be very, very like insular. In other words, you would only see images of people that you were following. Then little by little, Facebook or Meta or whoever was, controlling the algorithm would include, advertisements, promotion, whatever, and images that they thought, for whatever reason, your connections, through other people, and it just became a complete free-for-all. And now what you're seeing on Instagram is everything and can be anything. And at least my feed, it's out of control. In other words, I'm not controlling it anymore. But the things that I'm looking at are sometimes pretty interesting because they're so unexpected and so ridiculous, So it's you get a very interesting snapshot of kind of what's out there, what people are thinking about, everything. And it's just it's bizarre because everyone is posting everything. Everyone has cameras. Everyone has access to the whole internet.
Mm-hmm.
And you're getting a little glimpse of it on Instagram. It's very strange. And I guess TikTok too. I mean, some of it's, obviously very trite and, silly or sentimental or ridiculous. And, but some of it is very interesting.
Absolutely. And you can also learn, or compare things. I've listened a lot to piano music, of famous artists. And there is a site which puts always three, let's say, Argerich, Gilel, blah, 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 and Barenboim, at the same piece, like the same sequence of a music piece, how they play it. And it's very interesting, it's something it's very, very clever things also there.
Yeah.
It's not only stupidities or whatever.
No.
Good stuff.
There's a lot of clever stuff. A lot of people are doing it.
Yeah.
I have to go get a charger for my computer. Hold on.
Okay. And then we go to Mary's art piece.
Oh, I can only hope we could get 68,000 or 100. What did you end up with? 100 and how many thousand?
130.
You're going to have 10,000.
130,000 accounts. Yeah. That
10,000.
means different accounts. There are more views usually because people watch the movie maybe twice or three times. That counts too, but accounts, so there is a difference between accounts reached and views. Views you have more because.
Isn't that a wonderful image of Mark's studio?
Yeah.
I like it.
Love it.
Wonderful.
Beautiful.
Nice.
That's a real artist studio.
I love it.
I'm looking
Love
forward.
the drips on the left side,
Oh, you mean,
like to the left of the brushes on that wall.
and the neat
No.
steps and separation of brushes.
Mm.
And
Such
Bruno's
artist.
water bottle.
That is fascinating. though. There's
What?
got to be something there that is really interesting,
It is.
And I will load probably, I have about 4 or 5 pieces which I want to put up there, but I put it slowly there, that not all everything at once. No. And then that's it, and then I post something else.
I wonder if you could include like a chip with the sound. I don't know. There's something connecting both of those. I don't know.
Right.
Okay.
Good, Mark.
Is this a performance art?
It's a real art.
This is
Okay. Here we are.
Love your studio.
Very good.
Okay, Mary,
So let me get this up.
you show it. Yeah.
Yeah. Here we are. So tell me how you want the orientation here.
Well, I think that's okay. It doesn't matter.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because what I did was I sent you a few photographs just to show you a process.
Yeah.
Okay, so these are, let me just step back. What I was trying to do was to see whether there could be some interest with multiple canvases. So the canvas on the bottom is 2 feet by 4 feet. And the smaller canvases are 18 inches by 24 inches.
So these are two canvases sitting on a larger canvas?
Correct.
Okay, so that is intentional.
Yes.
Okay. So okay, nice.
Okay, so next picture.
I like these gestures, Marie. Just
Oh,
these,
thanks.
and the wide brush.
Yeah, it's nice.
I love the wide brush.
Yeah, I got that at Home Depot. It's my favorite brush. If things don't, turn out a little better, I could do house painting.
I don't think so.
No.
I don't think I would hire you if I,
Too
if this were an
messy.
example of your
Too
house
messy.
painting
You're
techniques.
right. You're right. Okay, so then I said, well, I'm gonna try to include some more canvases. So I this is all I had. I had 3 additional 18 by 24 canvases. So I put those together and I laid them on top of, I just sat them on top of the first piece. But I didn't like I didn't think it worked really well. It looks sort of like a kimono now.
Right. Yeah, right.
Okay.
I like that idea of it being a kimono. That would be a nice series
Yeah.
to do the shape of a kimono, with panels or whatever, and then just do variations and do a kimono series.
Yeah.
Why not?
Yeah, it reminds me also because of that middle piece there of a cross, like an altar
Oh, okay.
piece,
Like Matisse's
I agree.
that's also
prayer,
interesting.
I was thinking.
vestments.
Go ahead,
Matisse
Phyllis. Sorry.
vestments.
Yes.
Remember those?
It reminded me of the Matisse Chapel in the
Yes.
south of France and some of the vestments that he designed. Yes, I agree. Is that what you were thinking, Phyllis?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
So then what I had done was I didn't like really where it was coming. So I kind of squeegeed a lot of that paint off. And I thought what it did was give me some interesting stains on the canvas. And it kind of now felt like some of the pieces were like watercolor, if that makes any sense. That it had a feel of more like watercolor.
It's more spatial or ambient and illusionistic. It's
Right.
like, yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I kind of pieced together the canvases in ways that I thought were more interesting. And it kind of felt like an underwater, I don't know why, but it felt kind of more like that.
May I ask you a question, Marie?
Please.
Is where does the piece end and where does it? Is it
Well, it ends with the next piece.
at that's holding the whole thing? Is that part of the piece?
I'm sorry, ask that again.
The huge board that holds the whole thing together looks like other pieces are tacked onto it. Is that part of the piece?
Yeah, yeah. So the piece that's 2 feet by 4 feet starts on the left corner
Yeah.
and then goes to like where that purple piece comes down, and then sitting on the right side, it's that 2 foot by 4 foot is gallery wrapped, that canvas. And when I put the 2 18 by 24 canvases together, that thickness was the same as the gallery wrap. So the 2 pieces at the end were the same height together as the 2 foot by 4 foot panel. Is that what you were asking?
So it is a separate piece. It's a piece on a background that you use to protect the floor or whatever.
Oh, you mean the paper below it? Oh, no, I just
Okay, I
protected
got
the
it.
floor. I'm sorry, I didn't understand what you were saying. Yeah, it was at the art studio, so I just tried to.
Hold on a second. I have I like the piece somehow very much, but I would turn it up. I would turn it to that it becomes vertical, and I think that it will probably much.
I think it is better vertical, and I'll show you when we get to the next one. But it was just easier. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
I
easy.
think it's getting more interesting when it's.
Yeah, I thought it was more interesting this way too, because it kind of, to me, felt like a pole, not a
Totem?
Right.
Yeah, thank you, a totem pole.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah. But I still felt like I was trying to do an experiment with what Mark had suggested last time, which was to use the different heights of the canvases and show the flowing of the paint going from one to another, which I then said, I'm going to throw some paint on top of this. And I think it made it better. I hope you agree, which will be the next. So I agree with you. I think this is better. Yeah, it's better that way.
Yeah, it becomes it's very interesting because it alludes to a human in a way, sort of, because it's like something upright standing in this world. It has another meaning, something also, I feel it's better like this.
It's kind of interesting, Marie, that this paint is falling right off of the painting.
Oh yeah.
And right into the background. So it's as soon as you lift this up, that's going to be eliminated.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
I guess
it sort of looks like an early cultural beginning someplace that hasn't found its way yet.
Very nice.
Something that's very separate and beginning again.
this is. I took this because.
Oh, okay.
I agree. Yeah, it's really nice.
Yeah, it's 14. It's working. Okay.
Hi, Maureen.
Hi. How are you?
Bye.
Yeah.
So the next picture I thought was interesting because I wanted to show you what you can't see when I photograph it this way. The only thing you can see is my sneaker.
Yes.
But the next slide kind of gets to what Mark was talking about, which I think captures the height, the different heights and dimension. And so you can see, how the paint falls to the next level.
Right.
And moves on, yeah, which was really part of that initial experiment.
This angle and the form, the placement of the canvases is really interesting. And even this sort of I see. So this is sitting also on top.
Right.
Okay, I like that. It's a great idea.
Would be nice if you could see it deep
Straight
into,
on.
you look into it from the top. Do you know what I mean?
You mean like to be able to
Following
look
Mark's
down?
idea.
Yeah. I don't know, there's something I find interesting about the different heights of the canvases.
I agree.
And the dimensionality of all that, which I think is what Phyllis is talking about. And I think I might not be able to do that with just canvases, but I could use, you know, some like a round piece of wood or some kind of material.
I see it, you know, when you have to display it. I think what a great, as a good idea would be that you have these things mounted on two beams, and that they even overlap that, and they come also. You see that they are mounted. This is, you know, then it becomes a sculpture also.
Oh, I like that
Do
idea.
you understand? Not something hidden.
Yeah.
On a wall, that you can move it around and put it there on that wall in an angle, and it stands there, you know, as a sculpture, a painted, you know, a painting, which is a sculpture also. That's probably the what I would suggest. That would I.
You know, Hans, there's a large canvas that runs under the whole thing. You see that?
No, it doesn't run under.
Oh, it doesn't?
No. Do you see where there is a break in the canvas?
Right here?
Yeah. Yeah. So that's where, I mean, I could get a longer canvas and do it next time that way.
I'm just,
You could build a structure.
it looks like
supporting the picture.
that there's a one long canvas, and then these are placed that, yeah. And then there's various levels of canvases laid on top. Like there's this one, right?
Right.
And then there's another one here, right?
Yeah.
One here. But I like this idea. I mean, whichever way you do it, I like the idea of the different levels, and even, you know, even this sort of random placement of various canvases. Like it doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to just be two layers. It
Yeah.
can be three, and they, you know what I mean? There could be a small one, a large one, a small
That
one,
actually
a large one.
is, that actually is, there are three canvases in that
Yeah.
center piece. I think you can see that more easily 2 photos back.
Yeah. So I believe
That this you can see
Right.
is like 3 separate canvases, and then it breaks on the bottom. Yeah.
I also like, you know, how heavily painted this gets, but I like also like this piece down here. So it might be interesting to, you know, kind of mix and match, which you sort of do here. You leave this heavily painted,
Yeah.
and then scrape some of these on the, you know,
Yeah.
this is nice too. This is a nice piece.
For me, this one works as is.
Yeah, I agree.
I think it's
It
very
works too.
strong.
But I believe that once you assemble that, and you really, you know, you have to, that what I would like to see is on what is it mounted? Because when you have a gap, you know, then you see maybe these 2 beams. You
Yeah.
see,
But Hans, let
they
me,
are on these 2 beams mounted. And I
But
think
why- I don't know-
that would be a great thing, you know.
Yeah. To show.
That it's in itself, everything is there then, you know.
yeah, I hear what you're saying.
That's what I see.
But why couldn't these just be, you know, connected, you know, in some way?
Yeah, I have always problem with that because then you have put it on a wall, and
She
then
would
you
have
don't
to
see
build
how it's mounted. You
sculpture.
don't. It doesn't matter then. That's true. But what I like here is actually that it becomes a sculpture which you can move to that wall easy or there. Wherever you can move it, the whole piece.
Why couldn't you move this if these were all, if this, if each level were affixed to the one behind it, then it would be solid. It would be solid and, I'm not sure I would like to see another element in there making it sculptural per se. It's more like a frieze.
Need an
It's a
armature,
frieze or a tableau.
and that would be something else.
I mean, either way, I can see, I'm just wondering if another element isn't going to make it a little bit tricky, getting it right and making it work.
But I mean, there is one version which you have this gap between,
Yeah.
Where?
And
In here?
No, I think the last.
photograph, the one which we.
You mean this gap?
Exactly. And
I
that's
know,
a
but
great
this
idea.
canvas.
It's a great idea to have a gap.
Yeah.
You
I
understand?
agree. But
And
this
therefore you need
canvas,
something which holds these things together. And I don't want to have a trick that you have a feeling this is floating somewhere, it should be declared, and then it becomes a sculptural piece.
but Hans,
That's my point.
but this canvas here is affixed to this canvas underneath.
Yeah, but
Just
it's
laying on top. It's laying on top.
Yeah, but it's not connected to the piece then further down there, further to
Here?
exactly. It's not connected.
But this piece continues underneath it.
Yeah, I just separated this because I needed to put it into a place where it could dry. But when it could be like a diptych where I just hang them together.
Yeah.
But I think
Anyway,
you're
I understand what you're saying.
Yeah, I think it's interesting because if you
Yeah.
show the movement of the different pieces, that's what's more interesting about this piece.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I like this idea very much of these, various sized canvases being assembled into this sort of totemic shape. I think is really effective. And then treated, with different painterly, processes, I think is really interesting. And then, and the paint being also, used in concretely, paint as paint, blobs as blobs, is consistent with the canvases also having sculptural, physical, concrete reality. So the paint is treated in the same way as the actual canvases are treated. It's all of one piece, right? But paint is fluid. Canvases are, rectangles, but they each are consistent with what they are. Of course, then we're talking in very formal terms, and, so it has kind of a formality, but which is good and interesting, but you can also violate that and play with that too.
Let me see.
Well, I mean, maybe it'd be more
no.
interesting to get rid of one of the panels and just put something else, violate that so that your eye is stopping in one of these places. That would make it more.
Let me ask you a question. Is this a finished piece?
I don't know. I want to see how it dries.
If you like how it dries, will you put these canvases aside? Basically, either, affix them in some way or make notes as to where their placement should be or is, and then put it away. Is it a finished piece?
I think it could be, yeah.
I think it should be.
You do? You think it's finished?
Yeah, I think it should be, and I think, and now do another one, and
Yeah.
keep playing with this idea. It's a good idea. It works. It's
I think
interesting to see where it goes.
it was your idea.
Was?
But
I think so.
Mary, I think it makes a bit the difference if you have to make the decision how you want to mount these things.
Yeah.
And I don't know if are you familiar with this? Is it called steel? A steel?
Yeah.
Can I share the screen for a moment?
Yes.
To show
Please. I'd love to hear it.
what I mean. Let me see. You see a steel. Do you see my screen?
Oh, a
Yeah.
Stella. STELE.
You see what I mean?
Yes.
That it has to be mounted on something, but it should show also how it's mounted. Here are.
Oh, there's an
you see,
H in there. Okay.
I see that, that once you have made the decision how you mount it,
Okay.
then
Yeah.
you can make 10, 20 pieces of those things and you are free.
Yes.
And then it's not only about painting, it's about something else too.
Yeah. I mean, I really like what you're saying, because I think that adds to it in terms of, being more dimensional, which I'm trying to get to, which is what you're saying.
Yeah, I think that's what you need to think about.
Yeah.
And then once you made this decision, you are so free after that. You can do whatever too on this steel thing. Well, and you can even you move it as a sculpture. That's what when it's just painting itself,
Yeah.
I think it's not so.
Not as interesting.
Yeah, it's not convincing. You have that you get. I have a feeling you get incredible troubles in a way. With it, and then and getting very complicated. How to. Then you have it's like an installation piece, which you like. Of
Well,
course,
it really wasn't that hard.
it's always it's
Yeah. Well, the pieces that were down on the main canvas, I would just glue together. So that's not a problem. And then the separate one, I was thinking I could just hang next to it like I would a diptych. So I wasn't thinking that was difficult. But I think what you're saying that's interesting is if I could make it more sculptural, which I'm trying to do with using different canvases, I'm trying to increase my marks, enhance my marks and make it more interesting. So maybe there's a more interesting way to do that, which is what you're saying.
I think that just exploring this idea, playing with it, doing more, having this really gloppy paint, like, that we see in the foreground here,
Yeah.
on one of these things, and maybe just scraped away on another one,
Yeah.
like you did here, and just playing with it and doing more is what's interesting. I don't think we need to know right now, or even if we could say right now, what is the best thing, what is, you have to, jump in there as you've already done and just keep going with this and, just develop it, find out what you want to do.
Yeah. Did you like how it looked before I threw the paint better? Or do you think that?
I like all of it. I like this. Is this the same as that?
Yes. I'm just showing you how it looks from the side. Yeah, because you can't see that.
I mean, this also on a white wall is going to be very, very different. It's going to have a lot of power.
Right.
Just because of these small, differences in shape. you know, these ins and outs
Yeah.
are going to make that really sculptural and very interesting. When it's seen against white, you're going to see that more, obviously. Clean wall. But, and then this one that's scraped away with this big, dark area up here is really nice. You know, these transparent areas with these very dense, opaque areas is very effective.
Okay, well, I'm gonna keep
So
going.
I think it all works. You know, even this, just the gestural, you know, very clean with the white canvas could also be integrated into one of these. You know, you just have to, I would just.
But I like the potential of going into a sculptural area. I like
It is sculptural. It already is.
I like that.
Yeah,
You know?
I agree. It's physical. It has a physicality that works. That's interesting.
That's a huge potential here.
Well, thank you guys for your feedback. I'm gonna work on all aspects of what you're saying. Because I
Yeah.
think,
I think it's exciting and interesting, and I would just, you know, keep, you know, going, you know, just developing it, finding out what you want it to be. I mean, think of Joan Mitchell, you know, she just kind of, you know, did this thing, and she just did it,
Yeah.
you know, and developed it, and you know, it was obsessive,
yeah,
and that's what, you know, made her a great artist and have a very, very powerful body of work.
yeah,
It's just all of the permutations, all of the possibilities, you know, given her abstract
yeah,
gestural approach. So it's just a matter of doing it, you know, exploring it.
So
But it's a good idea.
Yeah,
well, thanks.
I think that was it for today, right, Mark?
What?
That was it for today.
That is it. Very good. Yeah. Okay.
I think we say goodbye to our audience. Thank
Yes.
you for watching. And we see